everyone, and welcome to Daily Newspaper Analysis, which is brought to you by LawSikho. So, today we have two editorials for a discussion. The first one is from the Indian Express. The title of this article is Ukraine's Breakaway Areas. So, as we know, that Ukraine, Russia, India, all of this, and specifically Ukraine, Russia, and Crimea, they're all into news. And what is basically the news that is important for us to know for our general awareness? So, we'll cover it very quickly in this article. The second one is from the Hindu newspaper, which is titled as Regulation, Not Prohibition. So, this is again regarding Karnataka High Court's judgment, and this is regarding the ban on the online games. But again, it has come up that if they are based on skill, then what shall be done about that? We will see in this question. Then the third one is for the news update, which is about the important news points for our prelims exam. And finally, we'll be concluding with the legal news with the latest judgments and other stuff regarding the legal area. Also, if you like this discussion, do not forget to give it a thumbs up at the end and do not forget to subscribe to our channel as well. So let's start with the first article that talks about Ukraine's breakaway areas. So recently, let's understand why at all this question is into news. So the Russian President Vladimir Putin has recognized Luhansk and Donetsk and ordered Russian troops into these areas for peacekeeping. So earlier, these two areas, the one, of course, we are talking about the Luhansk People's Republic, and the other ones is the Donetsk People Republic. They were a part of Ukraine. And please remember that the capital of Ukraine is Kiev, the capital of Russia is Moscow. So Luhansk and Donetsk, they geographically belong to Ukraine, but now they have been annexed and taken over by Russia. And now, finally, the Russian president has actually ordered the military and the Russian troops to actually move into these areas and maintain peacekeeping. So very quickly, we'll just try to understand that what is the brief of these two areas. So Luhansk and Donetsk, these are the southeastern areas of Ukraine that had claimed their independence after Russia annexed Crimea. Now, it was back in 2014 when Russia had annexed the entire area of Crimea. And during that time, these two areas, Luhansk and Donetsk, they actually came up and they claimed their independence. Now, also, almost 40% of the people here are ethnic Russians, making them the largest minority. So basically, a huge chunk of the population is ethnically, or the linguistically, ethnically, they belong to Russia, which makes them the largest minority there. So the oligarchs that arose in Kiev after the 1991 independence referendum of Russia and had Russian leaning. So even the oligarchy that was there back in 1991, that also, in Kiev, that is the capital of Ukraine, that also had an inclination towards the Russian a culture. So the negotiations were initiated by France and Germany for the devolution of powers, but the Normandy format fell through due to the separatists taking over an airport, and finally the Minsk II agreement was there that was believed to be definite ceasefire until February 21. So the Minsk II agreement basically, which was a very important agreement regarding peacekeeping in Ukraine. So that was the basic story about it. So that is only the great tussle that the people geographically belong to one area, but ethnically they relate to another area. Just in the case we are seeing in Luhansk and Donetsk, that are geographically a part of Ukraine, but ethnically they belong to Russia. And now that is why Russia has actually taken over these two areas. So let's see what is the present situation over here. Russian soldiers have occupied the two recognized republics for peacekeeping. And the world is desperately hoping that the looming war can yet be averted between Ukraine and Russia. With this, let's discuss the second article, which is an important article for the day, which talks about regulating and not prohibiting the online gaming themes. So let's see why at all this question is into news. Karnataka High Court's judgment on 14th February recently reaffirms that games of skill are legitimate business activities and are protected under our fundamental rights. Now, as we know that recently the online games, the betting games were banned, but it was again reiterated that if at all any online game is based upon a question of skill, which requires a question of skill, so it will be legitimate, it will be allowed, it will be legal as a business activity, and thus such activities are also protected under fundamental rights of an individual. Now let's see the reform oriented policy structure, what basically it was. The government of India has announced that animation, visual effects, gaming and comics, the promotion task shall be set up. So we will promote more employment, more involvement of people in these areas, and the states should bring reform oriented policy structure in the sunrise sector, which has immense investment opportunity. So definitely it can bring in or pull in a lot of investment as well. So the sector has already received immense FDI, that is the foreign direct investment, and the investors feel comfortable because of the following reasons. Firstly, because of India's macroeconomic markers that we are actually investing in larger into the economy. Second is the demographic markers because we have the highest youth population of the world. So definitely youth is one central key area that is attracted towards these online gamings, animations, visual effects, comics, etc. And thirdly, supportive legislation in the area, which the government must be doing. Now let's see that what is about the bans imposed despite the precedents. So the Supreme Court has held in numerous cases that if the element of skill is dominant in a game, it actually is required to play that game. It is considered as a game of skill, and this is also reflected in the gambling acts of most states. So it was also in the case of the state of Bombay versus RMD, Chambar Bogwala. Then the southern states have, however, started banning any games involving stakes without making a distinction of games based on chance and skill. Now, see, the games are based on can be based on two things. First, it can be just merely based on chance, or it can be based on skill. See, if it is just based on chance, then definitely no skill is involved over here and it could be banned. But if at all, according to the Supreme Court judgment as well, if the question of skill is involved, then it comes under a legitimate activity. So Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka have issued embargoes which are now subjudiced. So let's see that what actually comes. After the matter of discussion, and internet has now progressed, and hence states cannot claim that games of skill morphosis is games of chances just because they are played online. So definitely online games are many, and they're of many kinds, and thus a clear distinction between a game of chance and game of skills should be made. Now let's see what do we have for news updates today. Firstly, the center blocks SFJ linked Punjab Politics TV's apps, websites, social media accounts. So relying on the intelligence inputs and invoking the emergency powers, it was given under the new information and technology rules issued last year. The Union Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, that is IP, has banned the digital media resources of foreign-based Punjab Politics TV, which it said is linked to the prescribed six of justice outfit and was trying to disturb the public order during the ongoing legislative assembly elections. Secondly, the world's largest pterosaur from Jurassic period has been found in Scotland. So the remains of the largest pterosaur, which is a variety or a kind of a species of dinosaur, on record from the Jurassic period, with a wingspan of more than 8 feet and a mouth full of sharp teeth, was unearthed in Scotland. So the flying reptile, dating between 201.3 million and 145 million years ago, was found in Isle of Skye, Scotland in 2017. Its skeleton was embedded in limestone. Thirdly, we have the Sansad Ratna Awards. So Supriya Sule, N.K. Premchandran, and Srirang Appa Barne have been given the Sansad Vishisht Ratna. And then we have Saugat Roy from TMC, Kuldeep Rai Sharma, Vidyut Baran Mahato, Hina Vijay Kumar, and Sudhir Gupta, who have been given the Sansad Ratna Award. And finally, Amar Patnaik, Fauzia Tehseen Ahmed Khan have been given the sitting member category award. Now let's see what do we have for the legal news. So according to Section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act, it says that the prima facie indication that complaint is filed by authorized person of company sufficient for magistrate to take is sufficient for a magistrate to take cognizance according to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court has observed that in a check bounce case, when the complaint or payee is a company, an authorized employee can represent the company. Secondly, Mumbai rule of local trains that is only for fully vaccinated people has been declared illegal by the Bombay High Court. So the Maharashtra government's order of permitting only those who were fully vaccinated against COVID-19 to travel in the local trains in Mumbai is illegal and has brazenly affected the fundamental rights of citizens, said the Bombay High Court on Tuesday. So this was all for the day. We hope you liked this session. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you wish to download the PDF of today's slides, you can join our Telegram channel. The link is there in the description box below, or you can scan this QR code that you can see on your screens right now. Also, for other content, please do not forget to follow us on our official Instagram channels for Judiciary, CLAT preparation, UGC Net, and Law Finance exams. Thank you so much.